Good afternoon, everyone. This is Juan Catamayo, JCT for Education. Today, another special day. But before we actually invite our guest, I just want to say to my mom, Happy birthday. Mami, feliz cumpleaños. Allá en México te mando un abrazo, te quiero mucho. Es un día muy especial porque es tu cumpleaños. Y también tenemos una invitada muy especial en el live del día de hoy. Así que para ti, mami, feliz cumpleaños, te adoro. Son 70 del alma. No pareces de 70, pero quiero decirte, te adoro con todo mi corazón. And now, let's go to our live conversation. We have a very special guest. We are flying all over the world, and today we're landing in Canada. Yes, we're taking a plane from Boca Raton to Toronto. And our guest, she's here right now. We will invite her over. Remember, these videos are housed on our YouTube channel, JCT for Education. Salisha!
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for having myself and Ryerson University join the live from downtown Toronto, Canada.
No, thank you so much. And we've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks, and the 3 weeks are here, and today is my mom's birthday. So it's a super special day.
Happy birthday to your mom. I hope she has a wonderful, wonderful birthday.
Thank you. She's in Mexico City. You've been to Mexico before?
I have been to Mexico, so I do cover the Central, South America, as well as the Caribbean for international student recruitment for Ryerson University.
Okay, so let's say Salisha. Where are you from, Salisha Randel? Where are you originally from?
I'm born and raised in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago, and I spent 12 of my beautiful years in Trinidad before my parents decided to immigrate to Canada.
Okay, when I was working at Lynn University and Clark University, I had the opportunity to travel to Trinidad, one of my favorite countries in the Caribbean, absolutely gorgeous. And I remember your currency, the TT. Absolutely awesome. And I had the opportunity to go to San Fernando to recruit at Naprima's Girls School.
Yes, yeah. There's some really strong schools on the island. Academics are definitely top notch. And it's one of the schools that I visit when I go back to Trinidad as well.
Okay, so Bahan, thank you for joining us. We have a question here. We will go later. Baham, if you can ask that question a little bit, we're gonna focus a little bit on Salisha, and then we move into your question. So she's talking about transferring, and Baham is from Barbados. So Salisha, you guys migrated to Canada, and you finished your high school. How was your college process? When you finished your high school, how did you ended up deciding to go to Ryerson University?
You know, the funny story is my mom worked for tourism in Trinidad. So she was always aware of Ryerson University. They have a very strong hospitality and tourism program. So a lot of her colleagues came to Ryerson, and I heard about Ryerson when I was in Trinidad and finishing up my high school here and beginning the university search process. I had three I wanted to stay in Toronto, and my parents didn't want me to move far away from them. And I lived in the suburbs when we moved to Canada and Toronto. So it was 45 minutes to an hour northwest from Toronto. And there's something about the city that gravitated me. And I was able to walk around campus and then during one of the open houses for Ryerson, attend as well. And, you know, there's something about actually, if you have the opportunity to visit or talking to people across the campus, like I just felt that this was home. And while I applied other places, the only program and the only university that I focused really on was Ryerson. And that's where I am right now, and I still love it. I get to go to a place and get to be a part of a community every day that I love.
I love your campus. I had the opportunity to be there. I've been to Toronto many times. Oh, by the way, Ryerson School of Engineering just joined. So everybody up there, hello. You have Alex, you have Baza, Asal, you have Elian, and then you have Marta Eugenia Medina, Olas. You have a lot of people. You have a lot of fans that
Oh,
just
our
joined.
colleagues, it's lovely to see everyone here and lovely that
Be-
everyone's supporting the Canadian brand and the Ryerson brand.
It's Thursday. It's good energy here. But when I went to Toronto and to International ACAC many years ago, I remember walking around and I saw your campus and it feels so cozy. It feels so nice. I mean, can you explain to the students that are just watching and the parents that feeling of a campus in Toronto?
You know, I'm happy that you say the word like cozy because at Ryerson, I always explain to students, and I even experienced this myself when I was a student, you get the best of both worlds. So you really get the feel of a small, close-knit community in the heart of Toronto. And you get to see people, your professors, I get to see, you know, fellow colleagues and so forth around campus. And I think that's what makes it magical is that you're in Canada's largest and most diverse city, but you still get that community feel. And that's one thing that I've loved about Ryerson from a student perspective, but also from a staff perspective as well, working there. That sense of community is so deeply rooted in our DNA.
Okay. Now, when did you decided to get your bachelor's in sociology? Was it right when you finished high school, or how did you ended up with a sociology degree?
I loved sociology ever since I was in high school. I took this course called Intro to Psych and Anthropology when we were in grade 11 in high school here. And something about sociology gravitated me. I always loved to experience different cultures and learn about people and society and how it works. And funny story. I actually applied to criminal justice at the time at Ryerson when I started. And, you know, I was intrigued with law and the justice system. And then in my second year, I actually decided to switch to go from criminal justice at the time, it's now called criminology, to sociology. And looking back on my grades, I also noticed that you know, I was doing extremely well in my sociology courses. All of those 20-page papers that you have to write for every single sociology course, I loved it. I loved doing the research. And then the light bulb kind of clicked on and I'm like, I love this in high school. Why am I not pursuing it as my undergrad? And I actually, in my second year, transferred from criminal justice, criminology now, to sociology. And I did my major in sociology, but I also still did my minor in criminology.
So you're a loyal alum. Would I say loyal Rand and your mascot, your school mascot? But then you've been working in the Office of Admissions for almost 11 years, and you have moved up to the ranks right now, manager of international student recruitment. So congratulations, very proud of you.
Thank you.
I know it's a lot of work, a lot of emails. So how was the transition from finishing your sociology bachelor's into the Office of Admissions? Tell us a little bit.
You know, when you graduate, you always think you have this vision of the things that you want to do and the communities in which you want to work in. And I've always enjoyed working with youth and really helping them figure out where do I want to go in my life. And I knew that was the population that I wanted to focus on. I also knew that I had a love for Ryerson because of the growth that I saw in myself when I was a student. And, you know, I started playing around with public speaking. You may not get a sense of this, but I'm an introvert by nature. And a lot of the work that I did in my senior year of university, you had to do a lot of presentations. So I enjoyed that aspect. And when I graduated, I took a 4-month contract working as a liaison officer in the Office of the Registrar for National Recruitment. And that allowed me to see the province of Ontario and the beauty of Canada and visiting Ontario high schools. And while I did that, I realized more and more was intrigued by education, higher education, and kind of getting the back ends of that, and moved into an admissions role from there, and then started when I was in admissions. Loved learning about international education, and then from there went into the international recruitment office, and didn't look back after that.
Salisha, I just want to take a second to say hello to everyone. We're with Salisha Randel from Ryerson University in Toronto, and we're live. And thank you to the institution for allowing us to use their Instagram account. This is Juan Catamayo, JCT for Education for you. And Salisha, while you were talking, I was thinking when I became an admission counselor, I did a lot of job interviews, and what the best way to start your first job working for your alma mater. So I actually signed up, worked for my alma mater for Clark University, and my first territory was the state of Iowa and Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. So I remember recruiting in Iowa and recruiting in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I love the job, and it's such an easy sell. So if think like you were in Trinidad or you were in Colombia, my hometown, and I ask you as a student, as a prospect student, why Ryerson University? What would your answer be?
Ooh, I feel like I'm in the hot seat right now. So, why Ryerson? Ryerson is a place where people, and as a student, you get to be who you are. You get to be a part of a community that is rooted in supporting each other. And you get to study something that you love. And for me, and I know I get this for many students across the globe, it's not about just learning the theory. It's also about putting that into action. And it's really bringing to life what you're studying from the textbook in the heart of Canada's largest and most diverse city, where every single industry imaginable is literally at your doorstep. So you're not just learning on our campus, you're able to experience the industry as well. And I think that's the most beautiful part of it. You're getting to see the best of both worlds.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how are you? How is your family? Are you still working from home? Tell us a little bit of that social distance component that you guys are facing in Canada right now in a large city like Toronto.
Thanks for asking that question. And I just want all of those who are joining, and yourself included, one, it's to make sure that safety and security is first and foremost. And I hope everyone is keeping safe and healthy out there. It was quite a transition for us. And, you know, yes, we are a big city, but a lot of precautions were put into place, and, you know, working with the government of Canada and each province, as well as the public health officials. Those were the main streamlines and the information that we were taking to make sure that all of our communities, our families, our friends, our students are safe first and foremost.
Good. So we will go into updates later from Ryerson and Canada. The reason I ask you this question, there is no doubt that we're going through one of our toughest moments in human history and civilization. And I was actually very impressed with your institution when I was reading historical data from Ryerson. It gives me the goosebumps. After World War II, people needed to continue with skills and trade and development. And I mean, being in the heart of Toronto, your institution, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but in 1948, 250 students were the first cohort of students that were trained in the labor force, with skilled labor force. So right now we're going through this pandemic and it's so much uncertain, but I also admire your vision as an institution and mission where you merge knowledge and action. So I'm thinking after World War II, technical skills, training 250, and your mission is still so coherent after so many years about knowledge and action. What do you think Ryerson will provide to humankind in terms of technology and knowledge? What's cooking right now at Ryerson? If you know of any insights you want to trade.
Yeah, thanks for doing the research and looking back in our history and, being around since 1948 as a polytechnic institute and really enforcing, the mind and the action and putting that into place, something that we recognize our history and where we come from, but we see our future. We know where we're going, and, entrepreneurship and innovation is within the DNA of our university. And when our students are on our campus or they are part of our community, they're not just thinking about what is the type of education that I'm gaining to learn and to do things better, but how do I go out there and how do I support and work with the Ryerson community and the city of Toronto and Canada and also internationally as well. So you will notice that our students are not just studying in our classroom. Our students since we started in 1948 to now, they go out there, they get involved, they're very engaged. And one thing that, I always get the question about what kind of student comes to Ryerson. A student who is a mover, a shaker, a doer, go-getter, an innovator, that thinker, but you like to be part of a community that does that and really see how we can give back and contribute. I think that's, that's the nature of a Ryersonian. And I do encourage if you have the opportunity to go on to ryerson.ca, you'll be able to see the stories of our students and our faculty members and our community coming together to support the frontline workers, whether it will be from helping with making masks to help protect the frontline workers and really showing the skill set that our faculty and our students have. It's such a giving community, and it's great honor to be part of a university that not only contributes to the city and the community in which they are, but the global community as well.
Well, I tell you, this is what I love these conversations. It is organic. There is nothing in stage, nothing. But doing our homework and reading, I have fallen more in love with your institution. Just going back, you touch upon something that universities are going to have to work from now on, and our values, family values, and go back to the basics of values. And you have touched every single aspect of your institution through the cohort of values. So, and now you are a large scale institution, and right now there is a lot of online learning happening around the world. There is around 1.7 billion learners around the world, which 17% right now are doing online, any type of online learning, where it's cooking, certificates, undergraduate, graduate, PhD, high school, you name it. In 2025, they're going to be 50% of that 1.7 billion learners. Your school mission says that action with advanced online learning. So that means that you guys are super equipped with online learning. Let's talk about Ryerson's online learning right now.
Those are some impressive stats that you just pulled out there.
Yes.
It's when I know there's lots of concern out there from our incoming students and, looking at what is the fall going to look like. And, while majority of our classes will be offered online as of right now, we continue to explore potential mix for in-person classes. So that's up as of right now. Again, we are working very closely with, the officials, including public health, to make sure that as a community, we're doing this safely. But I do want to emphasize that when it comes to the strength of innovation, there's definitely strong opportunities to engage online. And our Chang School of Continuing Education, I want to mention this because I'm actually taking classes right now, and it's being done all online and being engaged with the community as well. The summer classes that I'm taking all online, and we're doing our lectures online, all of our discussions online. We have class participation that we're doing. We're doing a lot of cross-team building as well online. So the infrastructure is there, and I know it can be challenging.
Yes.
You know, I describe myself as someone who is in classroom. I will be sitting at the front of the class. When I don't understand something, I'll put my hand up to ask the question. So navigating the online world is something that's definitely new to me as well for education. And it takes a lot of that self-discipline and that self-motivation. But one thing that I am learning through it, like all of the information is available to you, the way that the system is set up. So you know exactly when you have all of your modules to do, all of the readings that you have to do, all of the exams that are coming up, you have those dates in front of you. And it's also training me to do a lot of schedule blocking on my calendar to make sure that I'm committed
Yes.
to my learning. And, you know, shout out to our professors who are online with us as well. And questions, I remember asking a question at like 9 a.m. in the morning. And by like 9:05, my professor had already responded to me. So there's still the connectivity,
Yes.
while not in class, the connectivity was online.
Salisha, for the students that are watching that are in high school and they are in 9th, 10th, 11th, have you guys developed summer programs for high school students for this summer?
So we do have summer programs that we offer in the traditional in-person setting. So for this summer, unfortunately, we don't have much available, but I do encourage them to keep in touch with us, because there's a lot of programs at Ryerson that do offer summer opportunities as well.
So mostly for the undergraduate, graduate, or adult population, correct?
Yes. So I know we have gotten, and I've participated in some events for Latin America and the Caribbean as well. I got a lot of questions from professionals who are looking to enhance their skills and asking about online classes for this summer. And that's why I mentioned the Chang School, because that can be an opportunity for them as well.
Good. Are you ready to dip into questions? We have some student questions. So we have one from Kanis Fatma. And can you show like a trailer of how the future classroom online will look, anywhere that they can just dig in your website? I personally, Kanis, I went to LinkedIn and I actually clicked Ryerson. I'm following Ryerson on my LinkedIn. So tons of videos. So that will answer some of the questions. But on your main website, how can they find that information?
Great question. So a couple things that I would mention, if you really want to get a sense of the university, we do have a virtual campus tour that you can take as well. And we are going to be putting out information on there, and we have our students who will be doing a lot of Instagram lives as well, so you can definitely join in for that. So ryerson.ca, and if you click on undergraduate admissions and follow us on social media, we have a pretty wide footprint on social media. It kind of gives you an idea of the student experience at Ryerson.
Okay. Now, this is a tough question, so I know you will do your best. No promises, but we have a question about tuition. I think your camera just, there is some pixelation on your camera. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I think you're showing something purple. We're not seeing your face right now.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna jump out and jump back in, okay?
Okay, go ahead, no problem. So, hello everyone. We are with Ryerson University. We are with Salisha, Randel from the Office of Admissions. We're experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, but right here we will invite Salisha back again. Just be with us for a second. Remember these videos, you can find them on Instagram Live, and not live anymore, IGTV, Instagram TV, and also on JCT for Education YouTube account. We're waiting for Ryerson to come on live with us. This is the beauty of technology. And I know there is a question here from Patel. And Patel, we will be right with you in a second. While Salisha comes here, JCT for Education is located in the United States. We're in the state of Florida, and we have service students from all over the world, helping them with college planning and services. But right now, we're running daily conversations with officers of admissions, parents, students, and so forth. So watch us on Instagram Live every day, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see if we can invite Salisha again. 1 second. She's out and she will be with us in just 1 second. So Patel, you're asking, are there on-campus paid jobs for international students so they can support their education? Let's wait for a second and let's have Salisha from the Office of Admissions answer that question. So, let's see. Please, technology, work. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, I'm so sorry about that.
No worries. That's fine. So Patel has a question for you. Patel's saying, as an international student, can I work on campus?
So yes, as a international student, you can work on campus. Patel, at Ryerson, we do have part-time jobs available for our international students. It's called our Career Boost International. I highly encourage working on campus. I worked on campus in my undergrad. You work on campus too, and it's a great way to get to know the university, but also a great way to make some money to help pay for your personal expenses as well. And we offer through our International Student Support Office, if you have any questions about working opportunities, that is available. And Patel, also to touch on that, many programs at Ryerson also offer cooperative education. We call it co-op for short. And this allows students as part of their program to work full-time in the field. So if that's something of interest, on our website, you'll be able to see exactly which programs offer cooperative education.
So thank you so much. And we, Patel, we will go into visa question later, but we want to answer this question for Bahan Nubian 246. I'm from Barbados, currently transitioning to my second year at college. Will I be able to transfer to Ryerson? And what are the requirements for transfer?
Well, hello, Barbados. Thanks for joining in. If you are in Barbados, maybe you are at Barbados Community College. I do visit there. And if you are at Barbados Community College, feel free to chat with your university placement office, and they will let you know that Ryerson does have a partnership with Barbados Community College, where we'll be looking at your BCC diploma, and we will consider that for first year because we'll use that as a basis of admission if you did not complete your CSEC and CAPE.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just make sure with all of your prerequisites, those are also presented with excellent grades in your college studies. So definitely visit our website. We have that all listed down. You don't have to memorize everything that I just said, but we're here to support you. Okay,
thank you. And I just want to say hello to Fabio Andrade. He's one of major community leaders here in Florida, in South Florida. Fabio was on our show. Fabio, we're talking with a fellow neighbor from Canada. Fabio is very involved with the U.S. Leadership team here for South Florida and help small businesses. So Fabio, tell your friends that we are with Salisha Randel from Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada. Now, Salisha, just another question we have here. So I have completed A-levels and accepted an offer from Ryerson for fall. About my transfer credit for my subjects, should I attach my GCE syllabus and credits?
So if you're applying for transfer credits for your A-levels, so if you have a C or better, yes, you can do this. I would recommend, it is a process that you do have to complete. On our website, if you go ryerson.ca and you type in transfer credits, it actually shows you the how-to on the transfer credits website, so you can complete that process. And if you're having any questions about that, you can always send us a message on our Ryerson Facebook. Try saying that quickly a couple of times. Or you can always get in touch with us at international@ryerson.ca, and we'll be able to help direct your questions for you.
Salisha, I have a cool question for you. I get messages on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, text, email, you name it. If a student, I see why Ryerson is actually following our conversation right now. If a student send a message to the Y Ryerson Instagram account, will you guys answer through that media?
So we do answer questions through our social media platforms, and we do have a very wide footprint. So yeah, absolutely. If you are on social media and you want to send us a question there as well, feel free to do so. We will answer during our office hours for social media.
Yeah. Are you finding yourself working many hours right now?
If it's one thing you know about me, I love to work here for our students. I know answering questions is always top of mind, but it's quite a, I don't call it a balance. I call it a little bit of a dance where, trying to find that happy medium between working and personal, and especially with now all of us working remotely, your work and your personal life is at home. So really trying to find what works best for you and what schedule works best for you is something that I'm still navigating, and I'm still learning as well. I think we're all learning progress.
Okay. There is your tough question here. Will the international tuition be the same if all classes are online? What are the talks with your leadership right now at the institution?
So that's definitely a hot topic, and one of the top questions on our minds for our incoming students, as well as our current students as well. So I know all of these will be addressed very shortly. So would encourage incoming students as well as our current students to please keep on our official channels. We will be sending, we will be communicating once the institution makes a decision. We'll be communicating that information.
And thank you for that question. OPLQOAOQKCQ. Wow, that's a handle. But I will tell you, we have had many colleges and universities here on our live conversations. Salisha and I, we've been talking. There are daily changes. So I'm sure that probably within a month, this question will be answered really thoroughly and really well, not only to your institution, but many institutions across North America. So thank you for that question. Now let's go into student visas and your international students. Your population is around 45,000 between both graduate and undergraduate. What percentage is international, Salisha?
As of right now, we're hovering around 7% of our student bodies international. You will find students from across 146 different countries on our campus. So it's a very multicultural, very diverse population. And for such a large number, I know we are a very small international population as well, but the campus itself is very multicultural and very diverse. And you'll find students from all across the globe.
Okay, perfect. Now, airports. How are the airports right now in Canada? When are you guys opening back your borders for international flights?
As you said, like, things are changing on a daily basis, and keeping up with the information is, I had a question from a family the other day asking about where can I find the correct information, the most up-to-date information, and really pointing them, to the government sites, because as soon as the information is updated there and all the the regulations, for example, of who's allowed to come in, all the different timeframes that they're working with. I would really drive students and families to take a look at the Government of Canada website to see those updates, because we're trying to keep our pulse on all the changes that are happening as well. And yeah, it's still TBD, but would encourage that everyone just the Government of Canada's website to see about the international flights and when we're going to be allowing those back in.
Yeah, I know, like Argentina, they are not opening until September 1st. I had that question from a family in Colombia saying that most likely they will be able to fly out the second week of September. So let's bring this question from Isela. Will international students be able to attend the online classes from their hometowns? So that's, I guess, yes.
If your classes are being offered online, there is that opportunity to start your classes online as well. What we are encouraging from the Government of Canada in regards to immigration, as well as our International Student Support Office, is that if you have an offer of admission for Ryerson University, begin your application process for your study visa and your study permit, because this can all be done online. So highly encourage students, again, if you go into the Government of Canada website, there's the immigration section, and then you can click the study permit, and you can get all of that information there. They also have a COVID website as well, where you get updates, and would encourage anyone who's watching and you want to get up-to-date information about undergraduate admissions, about what we're doing. All of our updates will be posted on our admissions COVID website. So I would encourage you to bookmark this. I can tell you I go on that on a daily basis as well. And Ryerson also has a COVID-19 website where we are putting all of our updates. Our president, Dr. Mohammed Lashmi, is also doing updates as well, and that's also posted on that website.
And I was on your website, and it says right on the top, COVID-19 updates. So that's very beneficial. So now you are a member of the Council of International Schools, but not only as a member, you're a volunteer, you're with the Latin America Committee. How long have you been with the committee?
December is going to make it 4 years, and I'm proud that it's Latin America and the Caribbean Committee. I know when you were on the committee, Wanka, it was Latin America, but we're now representing the region to ensure that we are servicing our students and our counselors who are in the region. I am the Canadian representative on the committee for the region, and it's remarkable to have Ryerson as part of that table to really talk about how we can best service the region for the students and the counselors and the families, because we're not too far away from places like in the Caribbean. Within 5 hours you can be in Toronto, and I've loved it. I've loved the professional opportunity that this CIS Latin American Caribbean Committee has given me.
And you have a fellow colleague from your committee, Mr. Ed Bustos from Rollins College. Viva CIS Latin America and the Caribbean Committee. Yes, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Hey, Ed. So here you have Mariska. She's asking, what happens if a class isn't offered online? I leave that to you.
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. We will let you know which classes are being, as I mentioned earlier in the conversation, if you're now joining us, Ryerson has announced that a majority of our classes will be online, and the faculties as well as each program is working diligently with the university to see how we can offer the programming that is for all of our undergraduate degree programs. So please keep checking, and we will be updating all of our applicants and incoming students.
Thank you. And then Mulik, nobody taking biometrics. Those are needed for the visas. Yes, Mulik, those are needed. Yeah. But one thing that I've been learning, we had people from the State Department here in the US, go to your local consulate, not only to the government, but to your local consulate. So if you're in Bogota, check the local consulate updates, because every country has a different procedure for like the Canadian higher commission or consulate and so forth. Anything that you want to add to that, Salisha?
No, that's also a really very frequently asked question about the biometrics. What I would recommend, if you email international@ryerson.ca, we're happy to share the link for the Government of Canada immigration when it comes to biometrics. That way you're able to see which visa application centers and all of the wording and the guidelines by the Government of Canada. And I have to say that our International Student Support Office at Ryerson, if you have any questions, they are licensed immigration advisors as well, so they'll be able to help you with that process. And I really do want to echo that, you know, we're all in this together, and you're not alone, and we really would love students and counselors as well. Reach out to us. Let us know what questions are top of mind so we can help you out.
And to the students watching and parents and counselors, consulates around the world from North America, their priority are students. So when they are talking at embassies and consulates, they want to see how they will help accommodating your needs. And you are the first one on the list of getting those visas. So check your local consulate website. That's very important. Ryerson, communicate with them. Malik, no problem. Thank you for asking that good question. I'm very conscious about your time because we're all here busy. You're answering emails and so forth. But I was reading something about you, and I actually was on the Ryerson Facebook page, and you say something that it really struck my heart, and says, trust your gut and actually embrace change. I think that will be a good way to tell everybody before we leave. What that's kind of your philosophy of life. Tell us why.
I know exactly what you're referring to as part of the alumni campaign that I participated in, because change is hard, you know, and we all deal with change differently. And if it's one thing that I have learned, you know, in this pandemic, is kind of going inward and really reflecting. That's the type of person that I am. And it's, you know, if you feel that it's right, then go for it. Because in my philosophy in life, I don't live life with any regret. I see every opportunity as a learning opportunity. And if something doesn't go the way that you thought it would go, like, look back and really understand what were the lessons learned from that experience. Because, you know, I think with change comes growth.
Yes. No, absolutely. And actually, those two phrases that you wrote, actually, I will ask my colleagues at the JCT for Education team to write them down and quote you. I think we need to hear more of that. And you say that 3 years ago, and now that's when we need those more than ever. Let's answer this question for Kanitz Fatna, and we gotta go. But Kanitz, here it is. If requested, I guess the visa, when will defer application be reviewed? I wonder what.
Yeah, I know exactly where that question is coming from.
Okay.
Fatma. So if you are, another frequently asked question is deferrals. We do recommend, if you are looking to apply for a request for a deferral, this form will be posted on our admissions website. So we will be reviewing those. It's a very, very busy time in our admissions office at the moment, and our admissions team is working as best as they can. We're all working remotely. So on our website, we'll be updating our deferral request form. So that's where you will submit that request.
Thank you. Any last thoughts?
I wanted to say thank you so much for taking a trip to Canada and to Ryerson University, and for allowing us to be part of these conversations. I think it's really important because, as you said, things are changing on a daily basis. We're all dealing with this as a global community, and we all have to be with it and really help each other out in the process. And I know our world of international education is definitely taking a different turn right now, and there is the impact. But what I've noticed is the care and the kindness of everyone involved in the process. We're all coming together and to support our students and families through this. And thank you for the great work that you're doing to bring the global community together, and all of the great work that you've done in Colombia as well. As you know, Colombia is a very special place for me, and I know you've done a lot of great service projects out there and working with communities. So thumbs up to you and your team for the great work that you continue to do.
Thank you so much. It's been a absolutely honor to have you here. For those of you watching, Salisha is a very well-known international educator. 10 years, almost 11 years in admissions. You're doing a phenomenal job. Keep up the good work. And this is your space. Anytime you want to come back for updates, mi casa es tu casa. Please take care of yourself, regards to your family. And for those of you watching, you can find this video on IGTV on my Instagram. And actually, we will be posting this video on YouTube channel, JCT for Education, for you. Salisha, Randel, Ryerson University, muchas gracias. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, amigo. Ciao for now. Take care.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.